So, in what was being touted as the biggest game of the season, definitely delivered from a neutral's perspective, and it could be a huge night in terms of the season as a whole. As not only did Aberdeen beat Rangers 2 goals to 1, and deservedly so, you'd have to say, over the course of the 90 minutes, Celtic also beat Dundee 2-0 tonight at home, which sees Rangers fall 9 points behind both Celtic and Aberdeen. And where do Rangers go from here is a massive question. First of all, if you're new around here, please like and subscribe. It's not just football reactions we do on the channel. You can see from the playlist on there, there's the SPFL RTG, and I'm planning on doing other types of content as well, which will come in the future. But let's react to the game as a whole. First half, Aberdeen completely on top. They said on Sky Sports at halftime it's the most shots that Rangers had faced in a game domestically since they played in the first half, since they played Celtic 6 years ago, and the same thing happened. So it was all Aberdeen in the first half, and they should have at least been 2-0 up. Obviously, Jamie McGrath misses the penalty as well, so you could argue that it should be 3 goals up. But the goal itself that Aberdeen did score, really nice flick on from Kiskinen, and Devlin with a really good finish into the back of the net. He's having a terrific season for Aberdeen, I think, in terms of right back position. It's between him and Alistair Johnson for the right back of the season so far, but Aberdeen deservedly ahead at half time, probably should have been more. But this has to be said, start of the second half, and credit to Rangers, they did turn it up a wee bit, creating some chances, and eventually they did score out of nothing. Bajrami did finish it off well into the back of the net, and I think Aberdeen were a little bit rattled at that point. Game could have gone either way, but then Jimmy Tillene's subs, which seemed to happen quite often this season, changed the game, particularly Shayden Morris. He was dynamic when he came on, and of course he gets the goal, and then Aberdeen do well to see it out for the remainder of the game. But without further ado, let's get into the player ratings for the match itself. Starting off with the home side, as always, Dimitar Mitov. I don't think he was troubled all that much tonight, to be honest. Don't know if there's much you can do about the goal that's scored from Rangers. Actually, the biggest save he pulled off was from Nicky Devlin when he done an interception. It went back to him, and he pulled that off. I'm going to give Dimitar Mitov a 6.5 out of 10 for tonight, because there was nothing particularly special that he did, and he did end up conceding a goal. So there is that, even though there's not much he could have done about it. Nicky Devlin scores the first goal sensationally. I think he could be doing better for the Bajrami goal, to be honest, and then he has a big part to play in Shayden Morris's goal as well. I thought he was really good tonight, really good season overall. I'm going to give him man of the match for his performance tonight, even though he could have done better for the goal. I am going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. Rubezic, he's having a good season as well. Thought he was very solid overall. So I am going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. And the same score for Gavin Malloy, his partner, as well. I think they're building up a really nice partnership this season, and there's a potential that, the Republic of Ireland could have Liam Scales and Gavin Malloy, an SPFL contingent, as their centre-half duo, if he keeps it up as well. So a 7.5 out of 10. Jack McKenzie, I'm going to give an 8. I thought he was really quite good going forward tonight, as well as doing well defensively. So I think an 8 out of 10 for him. And I think even though he was probably in the Scotland squad off the back of some injuries, I think he should maybe be in the thoughts of Steve Clarke. And I think Nicky Devlin should still be in the thoughts of Steve Clarke as well, to be honest. Nielsen, I don't think he was quite as imperious as he was against Dundee United. However, another solid game from him, so I am going to go for a 7.5 out of 10 for Nielsen. And Graham Shinney, going to score slightly higher, an 8. He probably was feel hard done by not to score as well. A couple of times he was a wee bit indecisive on the ball, but a really good performance from Graham Shinney. Kiskinen did okay with the ball at his feet, but I think his major impact in the game was that flick on that Nicky Devlin ends up scoring from, so I am going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Jamie McGrath, not the best game in an Aberdeen shirt for him tonight, gave the ball away on a couple of occasions. I think he was rattled after that penalty miss. It was a really poor penalty, so I am going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Duke, he does come off injured, but I thought he was giving Tavernier all sorts of issues all night. Looks to be maybe getting back to the Duke of old. Not quite there yet, but a good performance from him overall. So a 7 out of 10 for Duke. Esther Sockler, at first he would have felt real hard done by with the challenge that he felt Balogun never got a touch on the ball on. He did. It was actually a really good challenge in that respect. I feel harsh scoring him a 6, but I think that is the score that I'm going to go for him. Didn't really have too many chances in front of goal. No slight on him. I'm sure he'll bounce back, but a 6 out of 10 for him. On to the Rangers side of things now. Jack Butland, he does of course save a penalty. He got to take that into account, and he had a couple of big saves as well. So I'm going to score him a 7.5 out of 10 for his performance tonight. By no means was tonight's result his fault at all, I would say. James Tavernier, his goals and assists have just completely dried up now, and it's hurting the Rangers team as a whole. He does have a chance towards the end of the game where he heads just wide, but I think defensive, because his goals and assists have dried up, he is becoming a bit of a liability for the Rangers team, because it seems like every week his winger is getting the better of him, at least from what I've seen on TV anyway. So I am going to give him a 5.5 out of 10. John Souttar, I mean, I think Balogun was the most standout one tonight. He gives John Souttar's the one that tries to head the ball and it hits his arm. I think, and again, a 5.5 out of 10 for John Souttar, probably, in fairness. Leon Balogun, defensively, I thought he was the best of the back line. In fairness, he has that really good challenge on Esther Sockler, where Aberdeen probably would have went on to score from that chance, and if he doesn't get that right, he's down. He does get sent off as well, so I am going to go for a 6.5 out of 10 for Leon Balogun. Casemiro, I think he tried to get involved offensively. Defensively, I think he looked a little bit shaky at left back tonight, if I'm being honest. So I am going to go for a 6 out of 10 for him. Nikola Raskan went from being one of the standouts against FCSB to being really quite absent tonight, in my opinion. I am going to go for a 5 out of 10 for him. He throws the toys out the pram at the end of the match and gets booked as well, so a 5 out of 10 for Nikola Raskan. Connor Barron, he was getting quite a toxic atmosphere tonight, and I think it maybe got the better of him a little bit. Did okay on the ball at times, but he gave it away quite frequently, so I am going to go for a 6 out of 10 for Connor Barron. Ross McCausland has a goal disallowed in the first half for a really tight offside from Cyril Dessers. Comes in for the injured Tierney. And I don't think by any means he was the worst player on the park for Rangers tonight, so I am going to go for a 5.5 out of 10 for Ross McCausland. Tom Lawrence, he had a few pop shots here and there, but not really all that effective tonight, to be honest. I am going to go for a 5 out of 10 for Tom Lawrence as well. I think he frustrates the Rangers fans a lot with his lack of work rate defensively, and he does pop shots off a lot when he maybe should be looking for a pass. 5 out of 10 for Tom Lawrence. Bajrami, of course, he gets the goal, and I think anything that looked like it was maybe going to happen was coming from him. Really good footwork from him for his goal as well, so I am going to score him let's go for a 7 out of 10 for his performance, despite Rangers losing. Cyril Dessers, another pretty toothless performance from him. Ball fell to him a couple of times and he tries to take a touch or just bounces off him. He was offside for what could have been them getting back into the game as well, which he seems to be offside a lot. He did have that chance early in the first half where he took a decent touch and then it was blocked, but I'm going to go for a 4 out of 10 for Cyril Dessers. On to the first of the substitutes. Shaden Morris, of course, scores the winning goal, and I think he's been extremely improved under Jimmy Tilleen. Wasn't all that great, in all honesty, under previous Aberdeen managers that he's worked under, but off the bench tonight, he looked like he was going to create something from the moment he came on, and of course, he scores the winner, so I am going to go for a 7.5 out of 10 for Shaden Morris. Palaversa, going to be honest, didn't really see too much of him when he came on, so I am going to score him a 3.5 out of 10. Peter Ambrose, not quite the same impact he had off the bench the other night, but he put himself about, tried to get involved. I did notice him a little bit more than Palaversa, so I'm going to go for a 4 out of 10 for Ambrose. But Susan did well in seeing the game out at the end, so again a 4 out of 10 for him. And Clarkson wasn't really on the park long enough for me to get a kind of score from him, so I'm not going to score Leighton Clarkson. Dujon Sterling came on at half time. I thought he looked decent when he came on. Good few balls in the box. Won a few battles. So I'm going to go for a 4 out of 10 for Dujon Sterling. If that confuses you, I've rated him quite low. It's because for me, a substitute has to get directly involved in something, or make a massive difference in the game for them to score quite highly. FD probably would have felt hard done by not to start this game, and when he came on, I don't think he did all that much, in all honesty, so I'm going to go for a 3.5 out of 10 for him. Yanis Hadji tried to make things happen when he came on, to no avail for him, unfortunately, from Rangers' point of view, so I am going to go for a 4 out of 10 for Yanis Hadji. And Hamza Igaman didn't really do much when coming on, not given a lot of time, so I am going to avoid giving him a score also. On to Jimmy Talleen. If the second half played out like the first half did, then I probably would have been giving him a 10 out of 10 by the end of the game. However, they did fall off a wee bit for the first 15 minutes, but again, his subs make a difference. And a 9.5 out of 10 for Jimmy Talleen. And what a season he's having. It'll be very interesting to see what happens at the weekend against Celtic in the League Cup semi-final. You have to feel that the winner of that game will go into the final favourites against whoever they play between Rangers and Motherwell. And Philippe Clement, what to say? That very well could be his final game as Rangers manager. We'll have to wait and see how Rangers react to it. They did say they were going to stick by him, give him that contract extension. However, I don't think they could have foreseen falling not just 9 points behind Celtic at this stage of the season, but 9 points behind Aberdeen as well. So, you got to go for a 4 out of 10 for Philippe Clement. I think he is working off of. Not a great squad. However, he did help. He did help build that squad himself in the summer. So, you've got to say that he's been stubborn with certain players. Should Dessers have started tonight? Not too sure. Should Tavernier have started? As I said, he's kind of becoming a liability with the dry up of his goals and assists. I know he's the captain, but when players aren't playing well, you need to be able to drop them. Maybe a 4 is generous for how things are going, but 4 out of 10 for Philippe Clement. Let's see if he's still Rangers manager come the Cup semi-final at the weekend. And that'll do it. Thanks for watching. If you're new, like I said at the start, please like and subscribe. I'm looking to get another episode of the SPFL RTG up very soon, and I'm also thinking about other content that I could do. Like I said, I will be back with other football reactions to the League Cup semi-finals at the weekend between Celtic and Aberdeen and Rangers and Motherwell, and I shall speak to you guys later. Thanks very much.